Hello and welcome to another edition of Martindale-Hubbell Connected Pulse, a series of interviews with key members of the Connected community where we discuss legal topics, issues that are relevant to the legal profession and events in the Connected community. Today I'm talking with Rees Morrison, who's the President of General Counsel Metrics and a consultant to law departments across the world. Hello Rees, how are you doing?
Just fine, thanks, Rory.
Okay, so Rees, we're speaking today because you're leading an event within Connected all about global legal benchmarking to support your research. So could you give us a bit of background into why you've developed the research, what it's going to cover, and the geographic regions that people that are listening to this interview can appreciate from the research results?
Sure, I will do that. One aspect of it that's different is that it is completely global. Therefore, all regions are invited to take part. In fact, as of just a short while ago, roughly 40% were U.S. or Canadian, and the rest were everywhere else in the world, right, with a special focuses on EMEA region and Latin America. So that's one thing about it. It's global, Rory. A second aspect of this global benchmarking survey is that it's evergreen, meaning that people will be able to participate in it throughout the summer into the fall, and we will keep producing updated reports. This is something that hasn't been done before. Third point about it, Rory, is that the cost is zero. And for most people, that's a pretty good arrangement. They can take part and get the basic generic report at no cost at all. And finally, I'm hoping, in part through the efforts of Connected, that we can reach as many as 1,000 law departments, which simply dwarfs anything else that's been done. So those are four reasons why it's unusual. It's very timely now for doing this.
Wow, 1,000 legal departments. Can you give us a view of the what exactly you're surveying and what people that take part in the survey and also listen to the webinar that's coming up on the 6th of May, what they'll learn from the research results so far?
Absolutely. First, it's an online survey so that people click, they go, it's one page, and there are about 5 or 6 questions about demographics. What's your name, what's your company, and email. But the fundamentals go to 6 metrics. And the survey asks them about staffing metrics. How many lawyers? How many paralegals? How many everybody else in the legal department? And then it asks about some spending and revenue. What was your internal budget? What was your external counsel budget? And your company's revenue. It may seem odd, but with just those 6 or 7 basic numbers, you can produce, and I have produced 24 charts and endless tables, and it can be quite detailed. So that's what the benchmarking survey is asking about. Now, the kind of findings from the research and the sorts of topics that we'll explore with the panel very shortly are things like how many lawyers is typical in a consumer products company per $1 billion of revenue. Sorry, I use dollars. It's a bit US-centric in that, but had to have a common denominator. So they'll find out something. It works, huh? They'll find out that over the whole survey, as of now, it's about 3.6 lawyers per $1 billion of revenue. So everybody who participates will at least know that they can do a back-of-the-envelope calculation about their own department. Or another key benchmark is, what's your total legal spend when you express it in terms of your corporate revenue? In other words, total legal spend is a percentage of revenue. Right now, the numbers are trending around 0.4% of revenue. In other words, less than 1% of revenue, about 0.5% of revenue. So those are the kinds of benchmark data that we'll be talking about and trying to draw out some conclusions about what it means in the conference.
Fantastic, fantastic. You mentioned the webinar coming up on the 6th and the panel. Would you tell us a bit more about the panelists and from Jonas and Gaston?
Oh, absolutely. And we're really delighted to have 2 in-house lawyers. Jonas Gibson is with a pharmaceutical-related company in Sweden, and he will be bringing in some insights on law department benchmarks, really for the European sector. That's the way I think of it. Jonas has taken part in this and knows about it. Balancing him and speaking really toward more the Latin America region is Gaston Bilder. He happens to be physically in Switzerland, but his domain and responsibility extends mostly to Latin America in this international age. So they will be commenting on this and filling in all the questions that I don't know.
Sure. And the future of this research, you mentioned hopefully getting up to 1,000 legal departments, and you're approaching about 400 now. As well as scale, where do you hope to go with the survey in future? Are you going to cover different areas of different metrics to benchmark?
Yeah, I think that's right, Rory. And in terms of that, the way I've put it to myself is 1,010 in 2010. It's my little mnemonic, so everybody can repeat after me. The first set of reports and a substantial amount of the data that we'll be talking about on the panel will come from roughly 450, maybe even as many as 500 law departments.
Wow. Okay.
So we're well on the way because it's only 3 months into collecting this, and we, of course, don't have the fame of Connected yet to draw in more people. So sheer numbers of participants is really important in benchmarking because it allows you to be more granular. You can break down, okay, show me manufacturers in France, and you've got 7 or 8 of them, so you have something to work with. People can't do that. So if you talk about where's this going, I really see a qualitative difference in what we can derive from these numbers because of a quantitative quantum leap. How's that for throwing a lot of metaphors together? But you are also right, Rory, that once there is this, dare I say, community of interest, it's something like what Martindale is creating very successfully. There will be a community of interest to some degree of those people who care about law department metrics. And I can go back to them, ask for some, what I think of as drill down questions, and hopefully some number of them will care about intellectual property or litigation or environmental or whatever, e-discovery costs. And therefore, if they contribute, we will build this community and it will go surging on. I'm looking forward to that.
Fantastic. Rees, unfortunately we're out of time, but it looks like this is going to be on the 6th anyway, an amazing webinar. And if you're watching this and it's past the 6th of May, you've missed the webinar, well, we'll have a recording of it within Connected, within the Improving Outside Counsel Relationships group. So, Rees, I thank you for the time, and I can't wait for the webinar. Looks like it's going to be amazing.
Thank you, Rory.
Thanks. Bye.